Let the doggies out. Let the piggies wiggle. Hello. Hello. Good to see you. Welcome to the Atrioc broadcaster on April 15th, 2026. God damn, 2026, baby. So crazy. Mixed Thiff, thank you for the 14 months. James Nash, thank you for 26. Vortex here, thank you for the 51. Kanazuki, thank you for the tier 1. Unfindable, thank you for the 55. Tom Pinfor, thank you for the 6 months. Chocolate Chip Bagels, thank you for the 26. Mally PX, thank you for the 1. Good to see you. I didn't skip yesterday. I mean, I wasn't live yesterday, but Tuesdays don't count. God, because I have to do the pod. But I did skip Monday. Some shit came up, so I'm back now. Should be back now. Are you going on the cruise? Can you tell me my cruise fit? I'm dressed for the cruise. No, I'm not going on the fucking cruise. No, I'm not going on the fucking cruise, dude. I think it's the funniest thing that's ever happened, though. I think it's so funny. I actually need to watch more about it, but all I've seen is the tweets, and every tweet has made me laugh. I fear I'm not online enough to know about the cruise. That's crazy. If you guys don't know, wait, does someone have the website? The website is so funny. The website is so funny. I think they made it with AI, bro. I think it's like literally AI generated. It's so funny. Wait, I gotta pull it up. But this is real, just to be clear. This is real. The Northern Lion Super Cruise, where gamers, streamers, and streaming legends unite on the high seas for the adventure of a lifetime. View itinerary. The itinerary is just this is just what the cruise is normally doing. It does not mention anything about what you might do that's about gaming or with Northern Lion at all, because this is just a small part of an already existing cruise. So then you go on and, okay, there's Dan Giesling, Squeaks, and of course, Northern Lion. And I think these are all AI generated too. It's so peak, bro. Is it expensive? No, you can get the gamer package for only $17.99. You can get the gamer package, dude. Or the beautiful duo queue, or squad up. You guys, you better find a group to squad up with for the Northern Lion cruise. Do 3 to a room, do 4 to a bunk. Whatever it takes to get on the cruise. So you can reserve your cabin now on the Jewel of the Seas. This doesn't happen for another year. Basically a year from now is when this happens. So we get to make jokes about it for a whole year. And then when it happens, we can make jokes about that for the whole next year. It's going to be so funny. The shit that comes out is going to be so funny. Of course Librarian's going. Of course. Worth it to meet him alone. Dude, Librarian has been tweeting about it nonstop, and I've laughed out loud on my phone like 8 times. It's so peak, dude. Wait. I have to find. I mean, this was a good one, dude. Okay, wait. This was from Northern Lion's Discord, right? This guy said, this is back in 2025, this is a year ago. He said, if I can bring my laptop on a cruise to play Vidya in the cabin while my family has fun outside, then Anel, Northern Lion, can bring his stream setup on a cruise with him too. This guy was mad that NL was going on cruises and not streaming. And then NL responded and said, deadass might be the saddest thing ever written in here, and that's saying something. Okay, funny enough, already roasting him. But then after the cruise was announced, that guy comes back. It says, with the new announcement, are you willing to take this back? That is fucking funny. Oh, this shit is a hoot, bro. Bro, this cruise is gonna produce stories for the ages. This shit Squeaks is gonna do on that cruise, you're not gonna want to talk about it. Bro never forgot. Bro, you get roasted like this, you never forget. he was waiting for this moment. You should raffle a room with a random chatter. Dude, I'm not going on the cruise. I'm not going on the cruise. I'm not. You know, like the few vacations I'm gonna take with my wife. I'm gonna take her on the Northern Lion cruise. It's like she's not gonna enjoy that. No. We would go if we did a cruise. I would tell her we're going on the NL cruise. Not that I wouldn't want to hang out with Squeaks or NL or Dan Giesling, but you know, it's gonna be crazy, dude. It's gonna be crazy. If you took this job seriously, you would. Don't hashtag don't quote the word job. Just tell her it's a cruise and don't mention NL. Babe, I booked us a beautiful cruise in Cozumel, Mexico. It's gorgeous. It's on the Star of the Seas. It's going to be romantic and fun. Why is there so many so many gamers on this cruise? Why is everyone bald on this cruise? The Jewel of the Seas? Yeah. No, I don't know. I do think it would be legendary. I do think it'd be legendary for the bit. My understanding is they've already sold out, or they've sold most of them. Like the demand is there. Why are there why are there so many cargo shorts and graphic tees? It's gonna be as far as the eye can see. It's going to be cargo shorts and like a green Zelda tee. The one they sold at Target. The faded green Zelda tee. It's going to be, you're going to see that. It's going to be you're going to think it's the cruise uniform. Legit, imagine being a regular passenger of this shirt. Why is no one outside their cabin? What? People are paying, dude, it's crazy because half these people are paying $2,000. A normal ticket on this ship is $400. You can go buy a ticket to the same ship, same route for $400. They're paying $2,000 so they can sit in their room and watch Northern Lion VODs during the trip. They are going to be on the ship, maybe passively see Squeaks walk by, and then go back to their room, open the laptop to watch Squeaks and NL VODs. It is peak humanity. I don't get it. Sounds like a banger. It kind of does. High key. Can't you just constantly snipe them? What do you mean by that? Don't be talking about sniping people in an in-person event. Be careful about your language. I assume you mean something else. What if the cure to the male loneliness epidemic is the NL cruise? Possibly it is. I think I think what he's doing is a great experiment. I think what Dan Giesling has cooked up here might just change the paradigm. What if people come back from this cruise and say, wait a minute, that changed my life? He kept describing it as a Hitman level. That's so funny. I can't get over the fact that if I were a streamer, this would be my worst fucking nightmare. I don't know. It could be fun. I'm not, most people in person are nice, by the way. We're all making the joke, but in reality, most people in person are not weird. And also, they're getting paid through the nose. just to be clear, I mean, they're getting paid through the nose. It's extremely profitable. I don't think NL fans, bro. They're gonna be fine. Everyone's gonna be normal. It's gonna be fun. Who organized it? I think Dan Giesling. My understanding, I learned about this through Twitter, so I'm actually only half updated. But Dan Giesling's mom works at a cruise company, and cruise companies are always doing shit like this. Like, I remember reading about the Smallville cruise, where they had some of the cast of Smallville go on a cruise and just talk about the show. And it's like, but it's not, you think it's the whole cruise ship, but it's not. They just sell out a little part of the cruise. Like, as long as you can move some of the units of rooms. So you can basically, if you have any idea, you can rent a chunk of a cruise ship and make it the whatever cruise. And as long as you can fill those seats. But if you can't fill those seats, then you lose the money. Like, it, you know, but obviously NL can fill those seats. Watch the announcement vid, is so good. Link me, I'll watch it. By the way, nobody's complimented my shirt yet. I think I look fresh to death. I think this is a great shirt. Nobody? Not you get. I wear a fucking fucking flannel. Everyone talks about it. You look like you're about to go on a cruise. Yeah, that's the vibe I'm putting out. It's cruise day. Seinfeld pirate shirt ep. That's a good, it's not what it is, but a good reference. It's not a pirate shirt. Absolutely not a pirate shirt. It's a very nice. It's a nice shirt. I don't know what you're talking about. You should have a rose in your mouth and dance the salsa. If I had one, I'd do it for you. My goat is back. How was the NL cruise? If only. If only I'd been on it. If only. Bit parasocial of you for you to want us to compliment you. It's not parasocial. It's narcissistic. Please get it correct. There's something parasocial about. Are you gonna react to the 2-hour documentary about the incident that happened on the cruise? Yes, dude. When Jenny Nicholson puts out the 10-hour supercut about the disaster that was the Northern Lion cruise, I'm gonna watch every frame of it. It'll be peak. It'll be the top tier of YouTube content. I can't wait for the Netflix documentary. She goes undercover. It'll be so fire. Jenny Nicholson will not be able to pass by undercover on the Northern Lion cruise. I promise you there's enough overlap. People will recognize her. Librarian's gonna get arrested at sea. Dude, I tell you, the fucking riots Squeaks is gonna cause are gonna be problematic. I promise you, they're gonna regret inviting Squeaks. No laws at sea. Will there be a theater release with 4D effects? The smell, bro. It's not. Listen, I mean, you know, NL fans are a variety bunch, to be honest. But I don't think it's gonna be gamer smell. I think it's gonna be in-person social awkwardness. I think it's going to be a lot of very polite people that don't do any of the cruise activities and barely leave their room. That is a much more likely outcome than like, you know, the guy at the Magic event who's like smells and is an asshole. I don't think it's going to be assholes. It's going to be really polite people that are just really, really not interested in doing anything you would do on a cruise. But if you drop 2K, yeah, it's a good point. If you drop 2K, you better get the fuck out of your room. You better start doing shit. You better grab Squeaks and force him to talk to you. You better quiz Dan Giesling on Big Brother, bro. Oh, dude, who was it? Was it a tweet from somebody was saying like, Maybe this was librarian. Let me find librarian again. Librarian. It was like, oh yeah. Low key, it might ruin my life. Wait, hold up. It's not. Low key, it might ruin my life, but an infectious disease outbreak leading to 6 months of sheltering in place on the ship would be a movie for sure. Dude, that would be so. Please, someone go on the ship with a disease, bro. Please. Bring a new strain of something. If they all get locked out on that ship for 6 months and it's just a society forms, oh my God, dude, it would be so peak. It would be such peak content. A Northern Lion microeconomy where the Northern Lion fans form a separate splinter group on the cruise. It's like Lord of the Flies. Yes, dude, it would be so sick. What else? Is this Austin's show?
There's only balcony rooms, no suites available. And then, okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Are you guys, have people been calling?
Yes. So the cruise is pretty booked.
Okay.
We have about 38% of the cabins available.
Oh, wow. So it's really, and it went on sale like yesterday, didn't it?
Yes.
That's incredible. So will I be able to get to meet the Northern Lion?
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. And Squeaks too, right? Would I be able to get Squeaks?
Yes.
That's okay.
That's
There's
so
only balcony rooms, no suites available. And
dude, all the suites are booked?
Okay, that's great. That's wonderful. Are you guys, have people been calling?
Yes. So the cruise is pretty booked.
Okay.
We have about 38% of the cabins available.
Oh, it looped. I was like watching the same fucking thing. That's why you've got to go. I got a suite, bro. I got to get a suite. I'm living bougie, bro. Give me a suite, bro. I think that is so fucking funny. I think that is so funny. I think having Squeaks on it makes it 10 times funnier too. I can't imagine what he's gonna do. How's it gonna go? Squeaks' family's in the brig while he's in the presidential suite. Dude, just woke up on the Northern Lion Super Cruise. What the hell is going on? Every single one is cooking me, dude. I have to find more that just made me. My mom got a train ran on her on the Northern Lion Super Cruise, and now my dad is pissed. Everything he says about the cruise sounds like a threat. Wait, what's this?
And this is why a cruise is so important. Well, put your phones away. When you walk on the ship, we're going to hit you with a burst of gamma radiation that's going to blow up your phone. And then, adrift in the Gulf of Mexico, disconnected from the telecommunications networks of the Earth, we're going to make some memories. We are going to make some memories. And this is why...
That's fucking Dennis Reynolds tier. Level threat. Ah, he's a monster, dude. He's a monster. Be careful on the Northern Lion Super Cruise, bro. The intro to the documentary is going to be light work with lies like this or lines like this.
If it was the Fire Festival, if it was the Fire Festival, would that be so bad? We're still talking about it like 12 years later. At this point, if you could time travel back to 2014 and go to the Fire Festival, you would probably be like, let's do it. This is a once in a lifetime experience.
True.
If it was the Fire Festival, would that be so bad?
True. Wait, he's got a point. He's got a point. All publicity is good publicity. That's what I'm saying. Squeaks called the cruise 5 days of a captive audience. Me and my wife are going to go and try for a child on the Northern Lights Super Cruise. All right. I mean, I could talk about the cruise, sell the fucking cows, come home, bro. I think it's so funny. I think it's a streamer cruise. We're through. We're in a only an out could break that barrier. Did you see the bit where he brought up Hitman and then Dan freaked out because he didn't want the cruise compared to Hitman? Yeah, I mean, I could see his reservations, but it's also very funny. This is how we solve birth rates. I got to imagine the net on all of this is fewer births. I have to imagine that a world of Northern Lion super cruises is not a world of more sex. I have to imagine that. You watched the librarian announcement video? No, I haven't. I would love to watch it.
I'm not even.
Oh, this is 18 minutes long though. So no, I haven't watched it. Was there like I thought you meant like an announcement video. I thought you meant like an announcement video. Ease tensions on the mainland. What does that mean? Oh, I couldn't find this tweet, but someone was saying the Northern Lion Super Cruise route is going straight through the Strait of Hormuz. He could literally bring peace to the Middle East. Could literally. If they just stopped off in the fucking Hormuz Strait, I can imagine. Wait. Wait. Anyone else find the route they chose for the NL Super Cruise a bit dangerous? As long as they stay, well, they pay the toll. As long as Dan Giesling pays the toll in yuan and they have American passports, hug the coast, you can make it work. You can make it work. That's what the 2K is for. That's why the prices are so expensive, dude. They have to convert to yuan and then pay the toll. And then stop off at Karg Island for some oil. I heard Xi and Trump were meeting on the cruise. That would be fucking sick. Watch the beginning of the video. All right, watch the very beginning.
Hello, Daniel.
Yo, I just got your stream up.
No sweat, no sweat. I'm gonna vamp for like 2 or 3 minutes first, then we'll go.
All right, cool. I'll probably mute and then until it's done, and then I'll unmute here.
Okay, I'll keep my. Do you want me to mute or do you want to deafen?
No, I'll deafen.
Okay, because we're making an announcement today. Librarian, I didn't know that you knew. My wife dropped some bombshells on me this weekend. I didn't know that you knew. I thought
people
it was
think he's
like,
retiring.
I didn't know you were in this.
People are saying podcast or D&D or he's retiring, and it's
circle of trust is, I guess, what I'm trying to say. I'm glad you're in the circle of trust, Librarian, because I would not want to know what your reaction to this news would be live. I'm not trying to say that by knowing the information you've been turned into like controlled opposition, but you would be a very volatile compound hearing this news and then reacting to it live,
Okay.
I think. It'd be a very in another dimension, in another universe. I think that would be very interesting. Right, Daniel? I had a normal reaction. Okay. That's the type of shit sodium be saying when it encounters water, bro. That's the type
Okay.
of shit lithium
Plus
be
two.
saying when it encounters oxygen. Okay, here we go. Wait. I have to restart it. I just didn't want you to see that it's called Streamer Cruise 6.
Dude. Just walking through all of this, but it's all just NL viewers is so peak. It's so peak. Set sail with your favorite streamers. Northern Lion. Squeaks. Dan Giesling. Lovely Momo. I don't know Lovely Momo. Oh, Kate? Okay. His wife. I see. Streamer shows with live. Wait, sorry, what? Wait, there is stuff? Okay, let's see. Streamer shows with live studio audiences. $2,000 to sit in a conference room on a cruise ship and watch him play Slay the Spire 2. Man, that's so big. Q&As. Live variety shows. Squeak should do stand-up. See you on board March 2027.
It's true. I know you thought it was fake, and I can understand why you would think it was fake because it's insane, but it's true. Please ignore the fact that this is Streamer Cruise 6. This is not the 6th Streamer Cruise. As far as I know, this literally might be
I think it's the first one.
Streamer Cruise that's ever been done in history. Hang on.
I think it is
Brian
the first
Gary.
one.
So
Can I get a heart rate check off you really quick?
I didn't turn my cam off, man.
Dude,
it's like what a
I'm not even messing with you. I'm on 104 right now. And I'm
He's nervous. No, it's peak, bro. It's peak. I'm ready for the documentary. Me too. Me fucking too, dude. What's this?
drained at the end. I want to be drained at the end of the cruise.
Okay. I don't know how this whole thing's going to turn out, but I do know it'll be great content. It'll be great content. Internet historian will have plenty to work with. There's no way to convince me this is an elaborate bit. It actually makes perfect sense because Northern Lion loves cruises. And then the key piece is that Dan Giesling's mom works as a cruise booker. There really is actually a two-step process where it all works quite easily well. It's just very, very funny that it's actually going to happen. You should go as a regular person. It's not that listen, there's a world where this would be hilarious and I just book a room and I go and it's funny. The problem is like I legitimately could not explain this to my wife. I legitimately could not explain it. And so I would either need to lie or not bring her on a cruise or You know, it's just not. It's just not. It's just not feasible. I just don't think it's a feasible March vacation next year to take. Unfortunately, she does like Slay the Spire. Maybe I could find some. You got to gradually get her into NL content. Maybe that's the key. This is just Atricon on water. Yeah, you're right. I guess if I were to make a slight difference, is that it being on water changes a lot because you're trapped there and it costs $2,000 and it takes 5 days. You understand? That's a difference maker. You can't just walk out the door after you've done the part with the streamer. You're just like stuck on the cruise part. But it is like Hitman, I've heard. So that I'm interested. Don't get me wrong. I'm very interested. I tried to leave Atricon early and they shot me. Dude, I'm honestly, no disrespect to the incredible documentary, but I thought more people would leave early. I was surprised at the end of Atricon that people hadn't left because the documentary was so long and it went so late into the night. And I was like, people have to get home. And I turned around, everyone was still there. It was wild. Oh, not that it's somewhat related, but I gotta say, dude, I'm actually so surprisingly stoked at how crazily well that Age of Empires Hera React video is doing. My God, it broke 500K. That shit is an hour long of just me watching Age of Empires finals. Bro, that shit is popping off. It's like a 2 out of 10, 3 out of 10. Like it passed the live marketing Monday from Atricon, which did pretty well. That's crazy. Like it's only in 4 days, which means theoretically this could at that pace probably take a month or two, but could hit 1 million. 1 million views on me watching fucking, that's crazy. I got more than the Red Bull official channel. So that's fuck politics is going to be an AOE2 creator. No, I'm not going to do that, but I will say the main channel of Atrioc is an Age of Empires channel for this entire month of April. We have 3 Age of Empires videos and nothing else. That's the whole schedule this month. There's 3 different Age of Empires videos. The Hera video we just uploaded. There's the 1v1 with Grubby video. And then there's the best game of all time super video we've been working on. So it's an Age of Empires channel, which is kind of a crazy pivot out of nowhere. But I'm glad it's doing good. I'm glad it's doing good. I thought, wait, I took a clip here. Because this was so unlikely to me that I had to share it. How do you see your clips on Twitch? There's like I used to know this when I used it a lot when I worked there. There's like a clips dashboard where you can see everything that you've clipped. Twitch Clips Manager, that's what it is. Did I ever tell the story about Oddshot? Have I ever told the Oddshot story when I worked at Twitch? That is so crazy. Okay, I'll tell you because most people are new and they don't know it. If any of you guys have been around Twitch for a while, there was a period of time where there was this platform called oddshot.tv. And it was like clips. It's what clips is now. It was Oddshot clips. People used to share Oddshot clips on Reddit and stuff from Twitch. Like it would be like, oh, here's a cool moment. Here's the Oddshot. It was like the thing. And I met, you know, I'm a lowly brand new employee at Twitch. I got no clout. I got no hoes. I got no nothing. I'm not paid well. Nothing. This is like early days of Twitch. But I go to every event. That's part of my job is I had to fly out to every esports event. I'm working every day, every weekend. I'm always flying. I'm going out. And so I meet a lot of people. That was one of the cool parts of that job is I met a lot of people in gaming and esports. So I still know today. And I meet the guy that created Oddshot. I don't remember his name. This is a while ago. We have not spoken since, and I'll explain why. I meet the guy that created Oddshot, and he's super friendly and nice, and we're kicking off, we're shooting the shit. And I'm like, bro, I love your product. I use Oddshot all the time. Like, as a power Twitch user that works there, it's like so sick. I'm always sharing Oddshots. And he's like, oh, that's so cool. Nice to meet you. He's like, I've always wanted to, he's like, I've always wanted to talk with someone at Twitch about this product because I think I could integrate it even better or something. And I'm like, dude, no problem. I'll hook you up. So I'm a fucking, I don't know anything. I'm just a newbie guy. I go internally, but next time I get back to the office, I'm like, hey, I go over to the engineering side of the office and I talk to this guy. I'm not going to say his name, but he was higher up there. And I'm like, hey, I explained the story, Oddshot. Do you think he can come in and meet with you guys? Can we set this up? And he's like, yeah, sure. So I set the whole thing up. I give him the date, the time. Twitch pays for the flight, I think. He flies out. He comes into Twitch. I see him. I meet him. This is what happens. They bring him in. They sit him down in a room with all of the engineers who are separately working on Twitch's Clips product. And they ask him question after question, and they just write it down. Like, what did you learn from this? What is it? And they just brain drain like every aspect of what he's learned from doing Oddshot. And then, again, I don't know this. I don't know what the engineering team's working on. And then literally, like a month or two later, Twitch comes out with fucking Twitch Clips. And did he blame you? So then, good, I have no idea this is happening. This all filters out to me later. I'm like 20 years old. I had just started. I'm just meeting people, okay? Then I go to another event in Texas, and I see that guy there, and he is super mad at me. He's like super mad at me. And I'm like, wait, bro, what the fuck do I know? I said they should fucking acquire Oddshot. You should have been more tight-lipped, brother. Okay? What did he say? Again, this is all kind of a hazy memory. I saw him at an after party where I think possibly we were both drunk. So, I don't remember exactly the details of how the conversation went down, but the suffice to say, he was upset. All right, and after we spoke, I don't think he was that upset at me, but he was upset at Twitch. And then when I brought the feedback back to the original engineering guy, he was like, it is what it is. That's what he told me. He's like, it is what it is. And I'm like, oh, well, damn, bro. Damn. Anyway, so I learned a little bit about business that day, bro. I learned a little bit. That was one of my first tastes as a young man of the cutthroat nature of this whole Silicon Valley fucking industry, bro. But true story. That is literally the. And by the way, just to, I guess. I have no insider knowledge. So theoretically, they could have already had these features, but according to this guy, they brain drained him. They didn't put me in the meeting, bro. Do you know where he is now? No, I have no idea. I truly couldn't tell you. No idea. But seemed like a talented guy. I'm sure he's fine. Brain drain sounds like it feels amazing, low key. Yeah. According to him, it doesn't. That's what I tried to say. I was like, doesn't that sound kind of good? And he's like, no, feels terrible. Will he be on the cruise? Maybe. That's why you've kept the chat message whoosh tech a secret? Yeah, that's why. Oni Pixel, you will get this technology over my cold, dead body. Okay? I don't care how many fucking CSGO knives you offer me. I will never give you this incredible technology. It is the nuclear secret. Was? No, it won't happen. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. Your bribes won't work here. You can't brain drain me. What if he just vibe codes it? I'm pretty sure you could. As far as I know, Otto cooked it up in an hour. I mean, Otto's the GOAT, but I think he cooked it up in like an hour. It's not like it's. I just think it's really funny. Dude, you know who? Wait, Otto cooked me up something real fucking sick as well. Otto is the GOAT. Wait, I don't want to reveal this yet. Otto cooked me up something real fucking good. We're gonna use it. We'll use it soon. We'll use it soon. We'll use it maybe this week. He cooked me up something fucking awesome. It's a cruise. He cooked me up a cruise, bro. I got scooped by Northern Lion. I'm really annoyed. I was about to announce the Atrioc cruise. Cruise Trioc. It's $3,000. It's 30 days at sea, and it's all Atrioc viewers, okay? But we couldn't afford a yacht or a cruise ship, so it's a dinghy. Yeah, it's like one of those. It's like it's like one of these. Dude, my Chrome is so laggy. There it is. And guess what? I hate to tell you, you can call it streamer privilege. You can call it what you will. Dude, it actually won't. There it is. Come on, dude. Come on. Google Chrome sucks. I'll say it loud and proud with my chest. You can call it streamer privilege, but I'm not rowing. We all got to fit in this thing, and I'm not rowing. Okay? Someone's got to handle this. 30 days at sea, bro. I prefer Hobbit's barrel. Oh, dear God, dude. A Hobbit barrel. My least favorite scene in all of cinema. We recreate that with Atrioc viewers. Tip to tip Pacific Ocean. There we go. Now we're fucking cooking. What is this cruise everyone's talking about? Northern Lion is doing a cruise where viewers can spend $2,000 to get a boat, to get a cabin on the boat for 5 days with Northern Lion and Squeaks. It is the greatest business idea of all time. If you were actually trying to be skinnier than Lud, you'd be rowing. I'm so glad you said that. Spoolmaster 01, I'm so glad you said that. Because Ludwig called me today. He called me today with an unfortunate bit of news from his side. He called me to tell me he's, quote, bulking, and that is why he is now fatter than me. He's now fatter than me. He's 183. I'm 177. He is fatter than me. Chudwig is back. Holy shit. The COVID diet. Lud Burger. So I just fucking, I tore into him for 10 minutes, honestly, on the call as retribution. I tore into him, bro. I had so many things to say. Yeah, I fat shamed him, if you will. But then he got the last laugh. I don't know if I should say this. I'll just say it, but it's whatever. He got the last laugh because then at the end of the call, after I called him fat for 15 minutes and celebrated, he's like, hey, do you want to go to the Lakers playoff game with me on Saturday? And I said, hell yeah, that'd be really fun. And then I remembered I have to go to a quinceañera in Ari's family. I had to say no. And now I've been sad for hours, honestly. I'm only telling you guys. I'm gonna hold it in. I'm gonna be very present and happy at this quinceañera. But I'm very unfortunate that I genuinely would love to go to the fucking playoff game with Lud. That would be super fun. But you know, I already committed. I agreed. I have to go. I have to go to Mexico for this. I have to drive down to the border. You know, they prepared for me. Bring the quinceañera to the Lakers. Interesting. Just Zoom call in. it's like when people Zoom call into the like their trial, but they're clearly driving, and then you see that woman that's like, I'm not driving, and the judge is like, I know that you're driving, but they green screen out the. That shit is so funny. I'm gonna be at the Lakers game. I'm sick. I can hear LeBron in the background. You can hear the squeak of the. Hire a body double to go to the playoffs solves everything. Your solution to this problem is for me to hire a body double to go to the playoffs. So I'm still going, but I've paid the expensive ticket cost and the body double hiring fee to go. That is quite the solution. I gotta be honest with you. That's quite the solution. Did China pay you? For what? Dude, it's funny you say this. Wait, I'm the wrong one. Because today I was reading the Billy. So there's a couple funny things to say about this. Actually, I should probably save it for that China presentation I got to finish, but maybe I'll never do that. So, someone ripped our lemonade stand episodes and uploaded them translated to Billy. So people are reacting to our reactions of China. And what's interesting is our first episode is really positive and our second episode is more critical, right? So we covered both sides. And the comments are actually surprisingly pretty good. I translated them. I was going through today and I was reading translations and they're like, they hate the yard. They fucking on Billy. They fucking hate the yard because they think, I suppose, that the yard is a separate podcast without Ludwig that went there to interview Ludwig about Tip to Tip and didn't let him speak. They think they're like the worst podcast ever. Like most of the comments are like, this is such a fucking terrible interview. They're so rude. They've done such a bad. It's very funny. They do not like the yard, and they think Slime in particular is a Chinese hating American. Which is very funny. So by comparison, because Aiden's on both, we got a lot of positive feedback. But I will say it was a very interesting thing because let's say how this is. I'd say that you could literally go check it out yourself. Most of the comments, like anything we say that's critical, right? Because we had, I think, especially on the second episode, we had a pretty balanced perspective. Most people will be like, yeah, that's pretty true. There's this and this, and whatever. They'll give like some nuance. But there's obviously, for any country on earth, you can make a fucking video about traveling to India or Germany or France or anywhere. Any country, if you say anything critical, there's going to be someone who's like deeply, deeply nationalistic who's like, kill yourself. You're wrong. This country's perfect. Shut the fuck up. Also, your country sucks. Whatever. It does. That's you're always gonna get that. That's human nature. That happens in every country. What's interesting is there was some people in the comments pushing back on the idea that the censorship there is more extreme. They're like, wait. They're no, fucking the censorship thing's overblown. But what's interesting is the second episode we did featured a running April Fool's joke where we talked to Xi Jinping. It was called the Xi Jinping episode. And what's interesting is when they uploaded that, they had to cut out all the Xi Jinping parts or it would get censored. So it's like a pretty, you know, like just being honest, bro. You just can't. Even the guy that uploaded in the comments is like, I almost couldn't upload this because we had. So there's an irony to it. You were fair. I think we were fair about it, bro. I think we were fair. I think I'm fair about everything. I legitimately do. I'll glaze. I mean, whatever. I'm not going to go into it. I literally think we're more than fair, bro. Extremely fair on, maybe not even we. I'm going to say me. I'll only speak for myself because I know my stance is balanced. I know I ain't got a dog in this race, bro. I'm fair and balanced like Fox News. Yes, true. I don't know if you ever carried the petrol refinery in Australia, but supplies. Wait, what? A petrol refinery in Australia blew up last night? I think the stock market should go up another 10%. I think the stock market should rise on this news another 5 to 10%. Every time I hear something that's like a clearly material degradation of the world's ability to supply hydrocarbons and oil and energy and fertilizer, the stock market goes up. So I'm going to buy calls. Bro. Speaking of which, I think we need to do a fucking presentation because it is 7:55. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Speaking of this insanely crazy stock market, I have to talk to you today about a really, really funny piece of stock market news. And that, of course, has to do with the shoe company Allbirds. Okay? Allbirds is a boutique San Francisco-based wool, among others, shoe company. At one point, while I was a young Silicon Valley employee, I owned a pair of Allbirds shoes. I bought them because somebody told me you can throw them in the washer and dryer to clean them, and it's so easy. And I was like, holy shit. And then I never did that because I never have that issue with any shoe. That was such an unnecessary feature, but it sounded so cool to me. I don't know why that mattered, but when I bought it, I was like, holy, you're right. I have to buy that. So anyway, today, in a truly baffling series of events, Allbirds stock of this shoe company rose 582% because they are rebranding from Allbirds to Bird AI. An AI company. Shoe company Allbirds pivots to AI compute in a sign of totally normal and healthy economy. I'm sorry. It's New Bird AI. I'm sorry. I forgot their branding. It's New Bird AI. Wow. That is awesome. Truly awesome. And let's take a look. Let me give you a little context here. This is the stock price jump today, 446%. Let's see the screenshot. It's even up further than that now. However, I'd like you to zoom out a bit when you think of numbers like this. This is like, holy shit, what the fuck? And then for context, see if you can find this spike on the zoomed out graph. This is the full story of the Allbirds Shoe Company, which may indicate why they are willing to take such insane pivots. And I'll give you a little bit of context. So 2020 is when it got listed, and it peaked right here at $4 billion in market cap. Massively successful direct-to-consumer shoe company right out the gate. It was buzzy. It was hot. Again, back in 2020, it was these eco-friendly sneakers may be the comfiest shoes you'll ever own. The reviews were glowing. They were sustainable. They were eco-friendly. Barack Obama was wearing them. There is multiple videos of Barack Obama talking about and glazing his Allbirds unpaid. Unpaid. Barack Obama keeps wearing Silicon Valley's favorite shoes. This is a real GQ article from 2021. Okay? And the CEO was going on press tours, talking about how he changed the paradigm of business. This interview, I'm not going to play it now, but you can watch it, is truly monstrous in hindsight. He says things like, brands do have to stand for something more than just making money. And if they don't, there's no real way they're going to thrive and survive on the global stage. Again, this is when he said that. Just to be clear. He talks about how important their values are, how they wear their values on their sleeve and they'll never change them. Anyway, you flash forward just a year or two, 23, 24. The revenue numbers start coming in and they're not good. It's starting to seem like maybe their first wool shoe was the only real hit, and everything afterwards sells worse and worse and worse. Uh-oh. Revenue keeps falling. At this point, it's now been a few years of the company, and they haven't made a profit once. So we flash forward again, 2025, last year. People start asking, can Allbirds get its groove back? Things are looking pretty bad. So the CEO goes, hey, to fix this, we're going to go back to our roots, okay? We're going to focus on quality. We're going to make great shoes. We're going to have a good in-store experience. Flash forward a few months. They say, we're going to streamline operations to support profitable growth. That is CEO code for we're going to lay off everybody and we're closing all of our stores. Yeah, they streamlined it. Okay, so I'm sure the values are still being held. So they closed all the stores, all the physical Allbirds stores like the one seen here. They fired most of the people, and they went to purely online, purely niche product. At that point, with basically nothing else left to do, they sold not the whole company. They sold every one of the company's assets. That's all of the shoe designs, all the warehouses, all the products, any remaining design staff. Basically everything the company had was sold for $39 million, despite once being valued at $4 billion. From $4 billion down to $39 million in like 4 years. A complete and total collapse. So that was the interesting question though, because if you were an owner of Allbirds stock, well, wait a minute, what's left? I still own a piece of this company, Allbirds, but they just sold everything they have for $39 million. There's nothing left. It's still a publicly listed company, but it doesn't make any shoes. It doesn't have any employees. It doesn't do anything. It's just a stock ticker. So what would a company that's just a stock ticker do to try and juice things up one day later? Pivot to AI. After selling its business for $39 million, the company now said, we're going to buy powerful computer chips and rebrand ourselves as New Bird AI. This doesn't need to be a new company. This needs to be Allbirds, but rebranded. We are going to go all in on the AI industry and strike gold there. Now, I'm going to ask you a couple questions. How many AI products do you think New Bird AI has or plans to have? That's right, 0. How many AI customers do you think they have? 0. How many AI employees do you think they have? 0. And how much experience in AI combined does anyone involved with the project have? That zero, I drew 4 different zeros, by the way, for the slides. So they are going in with literally nothing but the name Newbird AI and have already, thanks to the magic of this frothy stock market, they have already gotten a loan. I don't know who the fuck gave them this for $50 million, which is double the entire market cap of the company the day before this announcement. So they got a $50 million loan and their stock price jumped $150 million in value simply on the announcement that their name is Newbird AI. They have not announced anything else. No product, no plan, no strategy. Just that they have some money and they're going to go into AI. It is a sign of the times. And it's really funny if you go back to this interview and his brands have to stand for something more than just making money and yada, yada, yada. And then you go to their new announcement where they say, again, to be clear, in this speech, he talks about how Allbirds is not just a public company. They're like I don't remember this. It's a specific distinction where it's like we're a public company, but we have a mission and we have to follow the mission. It's in our charter. We are going to be pro-environmentalism. Okay. It's a big part of our company. And then today, as part of the Newbird AI announcement, they put out a SEC filing that we have to get rid of that mission legally. We have to remove any reference to the company being operated for the environmental conservation public benefit. Oh, that is funny. So obviously, listen, you don't need a Jim Cramer to tell you the vibe here. Developments like this are a sign that froth is in the market. It's something that should give investors some pause. I mean, the idea that you could do nothing but change your name and get hundreds of millions of dollars, some in debt, some in market cap, basically funneled your way off of nothing but a promise, no experience or anything, is a sign of mania in some way. And I think that coincides with what we're seeing here. I thought this tweet was pretty good. Let me move this up. This is the S&P 500's performance since the start of war in Iran. It went down, and as of today, it has spiked back up to new all-time highs. It has fully recovered to pre-Iran war levels. Now, what's interesting is the difference between this moment and this moment is that the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. Oil is still over $100 a barrel. Inflation just hit a 3-year high, and the market has decided collectively that none of that matters. Entirely because of AI hype. That is the stocks doing the moving. It is basically entirely saying, nah, all that's good. AI will carry us through, which means this is like the environment for something like changing your name to Newbird AI. Now, I put out a tweet because this is very funny to me. Seeing this today is just this is like classic up my alley type shit announcements. I love the history of bubbles and scams and schemes and frauds and financial manias, and it's Atrioc type shit, okay? So I put out a tweet, and I said, it's different this time, in response to the Allbirds announcement, where I posted 2 examples from history. The first is the .com era, where back in 1999, 1998, you could just add .com to your name and send stock prices on up an average of 74%. There's this great study. There's this great paper, a rose.com by any other name. This is a great paper because it came out during the bubble. And so the conclusion of the paper was, if you change your name to something .com related, it provides you with a large and permanent value increase. Because the crash hadn't happened yet. So they did a study. They're like, hey, wait a minute. There's a striking positive price reaction. You just change your name, your stock goes up, and it averages 74%. This is incredible. And they say permanent. And the only problem was this was published in December 2001. You flash forward a bit, and a second paper comes out, and it goes, actually, in 2003, actually, it turns out that after the bubble crashed, not only did the .com companies perform worse, but other companies, even ones that were internet related, were taking .com out of their name because of the stink. The stink of the crash makes anything .com related terrible for stock performance. So we were like literally pretending not to be an internet company. The fucking taint. And then I posted another example. I posted an example that we might remember from your lifetimes, okay? Very recently, in living memory, companies were adding the word blockchain to their name, or crypto, or things of that nature, and getting massive stock price share surges, okay? NFTs, all that stuff was going into stock names, and they would just surge up on that in the post GameStop era. Specific great example, Long Island Iced Tea changed their name to Long Blockchain. To be clear, it is this company. They make this. That's all they've ever made. Long Island, they were a tea company. They changed their name to Long Blockchain, and the stock tripled at 200%. Okay? They at no point did they change their strategy or what they made at all. In fact, though they initially floated the idea of maybe getting into mining some crypto, when they looked at the costs of that, they immediately said, no, we're not doing that. We're not buying Bitcoin mining equipment. So they never actually did anything crypto related, but they were named Long Blockchain through this whole period. And even if you go farther back, this is only in my lifetime, okay? This is the one I remember. If you go back to the 1920s, there was a massive mania in airline stocks. This is the earliest days of the airlines. Flight! Anything to do with flight was awesome. Stock markets had to get into it, okay? And people were so interested in airline stocks that a railroad company changed his name to Seaboard Airlines. Investors lusted after shares of a company called Seaboard Airlines, only to find out it was a railroad company. This was what they looked like. Seaboard Airline Railroad. Their stock, tripled. They never got out of the railroad industry. So this has been going for a long time, and it's generally a sign of mania or bubble or whatever in the market. However, what I'll say is, if you look at the examples of when this stuff peaks, ideas like this, like Long Island Blockchain, Allbirds AI, Pets.com, all these .coms, they're generally like a few years before. So theoretically, I mean, the AI bubble, and I do think it's a financial bubble, could have a year or two more to run here. I mean, this is like a small indicator, but it does feel like we're still in there doesn't seem to be any slowing down in the mania, bro. There doesn't seem to be any slowing down in the mania. Now, again, I've always given a nuanced opinion here of I think AI is a transformative technology, but it's becoming more and more obvious to me that, especially with events like this, that it's a financial bubble, that people are just tossing money at it and it's pure hopium that any of it will get a return. Only a few winners will emerge from this. The large majority of them are just absolute money losers. And so I don't know if the market has quite yet realized that. And they're basically counting on AI to carry us through increased geopolitical strife, the world breaking down into different world order. Like all that stuff is kind of being shut your eyes and pray for AI. And I think this is one of the greatest signals of that so far. So basically what I'm saying, long story short, is invest all of your money in Allbirds and Newbird AI. That is the takeaway from this video, is take all the money you have. This is going to the moon. Buy, buy, buy. Diamond hands. These shoes are going to be AI powered and you're set. This is financial advice. All birds soar. What do birds do? They go up. Think about it. All right, thanks for watching. It's a little update on what happened today. Stocks only go up, right? That's the fact. Turn this down. My AI has soul, but you spelled it SOLE. That's powerful shit, dude. I need some water. I do. My throat's a little. Ah. Oh, okay. Can you tell me what the next bubble will be so I can invest in it before the bubble? Well, I don't know if you can invest in before, but it feels like people are getting fucking torqued about quantum computing, bro. People are torqued on that. Cruises. I think the next bubble is cruises. Streamer cruises. I think streamer cruises are the next guaranteed stock bubble, bro. That's going straight up. Cruises through Hormuz. I signed up for the NL Super Cruise. I pay 8ish too much because I can't tell if this is a joke or not. I can't tell if this is a joke or not. The idea that he would drop $2.5 grand on this, I can't tell, but we need to cut his pay, folks. Genuine question. Do you prefer Carnival or Royal Caribbean cruises? Why would you ask me that as a genuine question? In what world am I qualified to give you a cruise review? Or do you think that I would know? Genuine question? Genuinely. I have no idea. I've never been on either. I've been on 2 cruises in my life. I went on one with Ari in, I don't know, a few years back. That was kind of fun. It was Windstar, maybe. And then I went on the Disney cruise when I was a kid. Okay? That's where I had my first kiss. Big deal for me. Okay? And more importantly than that, gross cooties, is that I got to see Finding Nemo before it came out. God, that's what an unk. I got to see Finding Nemo. They released it early on the cruise. That's your peak, Lil Gup. Is that a quote from Finding Nemo? Did you feel worse flushing goldfish after Finding Nemo? I never had a goldfish pet. Never had it. I suppose that's a common life event, is that your goldfish dies and you have to flush it, but I never had it. What are you gonna name your child? Twitch C Hat. I think I lost the bet, so that's probably what I'm gonna name my child, most likely. Finding Nemo released before I was born, and I literally have a middle management tier job. Okay. Look at this fucking Zoomer bragging about his job, dude. Look at this fucking Zoomer flexing. Wow, okay, middle manager. Everyone here is unemployed, bro. Everyone here is unemployed. Read the room. Just because you can afford to go on the Northern Line Super Cruise does not mean you should be bragging to chat. Imagine only being in middle management and not having the world's hardest job being a streamer. Think about that. That's a really good response, actually. When's the Atrioc Super Cruise? Should do the Atrioc Super Train, dude. It'll be like a fucking Orient Express murder mystery. One shatter gets killed. One shatter gets killed. Everyone's on the train. It's not going to be in America. We don't have any trains. And one shatter gets killed. And I get to decide, and we all have to figure out who did it. Oops. Spoiler, it was me. It's IRL Amogus. The Amtrak Zephyr from SF to Chicago. If it's an Amtrak, we're all getting killed, bro. You can get shirts saying, I got railed on the Atrioc Express. The Atrioc Express. That's what we're going to call it. The Atrioc Express, bro. Yes. We're going to make big money. Dude, I got to blow my nose. Eat your heart out, Dan Giesling. We are going to show you. It's going to be $3,000 for a fucking cabin. Big A, thoughts on Jacksepticeye working on the production of the Bloodborne movie? When are you directing the Bloons movie, lil bro? Or are you secretly in production of a Monkey Ball movie and we are just too distracted with your big fingers? I feel like there was a real question buried in all the Glizzy references in here, and I'll try to answer it. It's cool that Jacksepticeye is working on the production of the Bloodborne movie. I am not directing the Bloons. If I directed the Bloons movie, it would go so dumb hard, though, because I would do it gritty. I would do it gritty and realistic and dark, okay? The Bloons movie would cover serious subjects. It would cover death, of course. It would cover abortion. It would cover drug abuse. It would cover... It would be everything. It would be dark. Economics would be in there. Wage inequality. There would be a big discussion on why some Nepo monkeys like Quincy live better lives than some dart monkeys who die on the front lines. I would really cover that shit, okay? It wouldn't be just like the monkeys are the heroes, the Bloons are the villain. In fact, I would spend part of the movie showing the Bloon Society and why decades of encroachment by the monkey army had forced them to lash out like this. It would really show you there would be a real catch-22 here. Benjamin is the villain. Economic mismanagement. Yup. Well, all the debt. You make it so hard to explain this stream to my friends. Cap. Cap, it's not hard. Cap, you have friends you're explaining it to. Cap on both, bro. Wait, I'm sorry. I had to blow my nose. It is stuffed. It is stuffed. What about a Saving Private Ryan opening to your Bloons movie? That would be so fucking sick. Like a D-Day, but it's Bloons. But it's from the POV of the Bloons. Like a young Bloon soldier who just got inflated and he's sent out to war and you just see monkeys. His brothers and friends are dying left and right, getting popped. And then you see Quincy put an arrow right through his fucking skull. And then it cuts through. That's the intro. Hmm. If I was a Bitcoin millionaire, this is the shit I would buy. Such a waste of the riches you might be getting. It's not a waste. It'd be a great piece of art. Would it be too on the nose for the balloons movie to cover inflation? +2. +2, bro. Nail biting scene where the first camo balloon is flying through the village while monkeys go about their day not seeing it. Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. There's actually a real potential here. The music on that scene, and then the camo balloon is scouting, and then you see the Moab coming, and the Moab blocks out the sun like the fucking Death Star. Ah! To your stations! That's no balloon. Yeah, that's good. I mean, there's the potential's crazy, bro. How do the balloons kill monkeys? I don't know, ball. To be honest, it's never really explained. It's never really explained why the monkeys want to stop the balloons from traveling freely. In the lore of the game, it seems really like the balloons are just trying to go from point A to point B, and the monkeys are trying to kill them before they can do that. It's possible that the balloons are sending oil to China. The Strait of Hormuz. Dude, that would be the plot of the movie. The balloon's trail of tears. Really, is what it seems like. It's a political commentary on plastic and our wildlife and how it's killing wildlife. Right, but if the monkeys in this case are environmentalists who don't want plastic to litter the wildlife, then they wouldn't be popping balloons made of plastic over all the wildlife. Do you know what I'm saying? They you never see them collect it. You should put less effort into economics and world politics and more effort into making this movie happen. All right, I'll get right on it. I'll get started. Once BTD 7 comes out, we'll make the movie. Did any ships go through since the blockage from the US? Ships have gone through. Ships have gone through. However, people are going to tell me so much false shit. The truth is, it's very hard to tell what actually happened and which ships have gone through and which. If you ask US CENTCOM, they'll say the blockade is held. Others will say that many ships have gone through. The truth is that it's very difficult to know the facts. Because the ships that are trying to get through turn off their transponder. What I can tell you is I have a fucking thing here. Look at this. I've been tracking it. Bro. And I think the blockade, it does seem to be holding, actually. So look, I have the fucking live. I have this, where you can see all the fucking ships. This is such an incredible website, by the way. It makes you marvel at the connectedness of our global economy. It truly is crazy. Just every day, 24/7, tens of thousands of ships are traveling all over the world to move goods everywhere. Things that are made here. It's crazy. It really is a marvel. But anyway, if you go to the fucking strait, I picked a specific ship last night to see what'll happen, because people were saying this ship is proof that Iran can just go through the blockade and no one cares. I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch this ship to see if that's proof. This is the ship Golban, okay? An Iranian ship that went from an Iranian port filled with Iranian oil. And I watched it last night before I went to bed. And it goes from here, it goes out, it goes out. It was here. I took a screenshot. And I was like, all right, it seems to be working. And then I checked this morning and it's still here. Wait, I think it's farther, but it's like, it's here. It stopped here. So it hasn't actually gone out. Again, it's not, the blockade is like ships in this area. The ships are here. So it hasn't actually gone out. It's been frozen here. And it was supposed to be on a different path. Like it should be out here going to China by now. So it does seem to me like the ships are stopping. And there are ships like it's the Starry something, was a public Iranian oil ship that got turned around. It goes here and turned around. So I'm not seeing strong evidence that a ship has just openly flouted the blockade and sailed through. Rich Starry got turned around. Now, here's the thing. Ships that have not originated from an Iranian port have gone through. And smaller ships that aren't tracked have gone through. But a large tanker from an Iranian port with Iranian oil, I haven't seen that go through. And I was following last night. I wanted to know what the fucking facts on the ground were. Now, I know there's dark fleet ships that don't have their transponders on that apparently have like tried tactics like sending two at once in different directions and shit. Like there's shit that's been apparently happening, but like a public flagged ship, I haven't seen it go through. I haven't seen it go through, and that's the facts. This is the ship I tracked, and this ship has been stuck here all night. It stopped at the edge. What about ship-to-ship transfers? That's also happening. Again, this is the Strait of Malacca. Where's the Strait of fucking Malacca? Oh my God, I'm way off. There, over there. Here, Strait of Malacca. There it is. Some ships were captured in the Strait of Malacca doing ship-to-ship transfers where a ship gets out of the Gulf with Iranian oil, then goes out here and transfers to a different ship with a different flag that can pass freely. Like there's a lot of like dark fleet blockade running type shit, okay? And so there was some captures there for that. I mean, you know, I think the facts on the waves are tough to fully get now. But I will say that I'm trying my best to see if there's actually like people just ignoring the blockade, and I don't think that's happening. I think the second blockade is real. As real as the first blockade, which means ship traffic has got to be relatively low. There was talks today of Iran being open to the idea, apparently, of an agreement where they maintain their toll and their ownership of this water, but not claiming this, which means you could still go through, which is weird to me, which seems like a back down, because if this were open, people would just take it and not use this. So I don't know. It remains to be seen, bro. It remains to be seen. I'm watching. I'm gonna have a bigger update, but I will say that I very much want to know what'll happen, and so I've been following it pretty closely and watching ships headed to China and Iranian ships to see what's holding. It is crazy. All these ships are fucking stuck there. All these ships are stuck there. They all want to get out, which is why Doug proposed the best idea, which is cutting a massive canal here so the ships can get to the Caspian Sea, and then cutting a massive canal here so we can get to the Sea of Japan. A truly brilliant idea that'll help global commerce a lot. Okay? The Freedom Canal. Right through Kazakhstan, Mongolia, Upper China, I'm sure that, and Upper China again. Maybe through North Korea as well. We'll call it the Canal of America. Dude, it's just crazy. I mean, I really think this is such a stunning website. When you really, where goes my arrows? It's just crazy to think about all this activity just so you can get Labubu at your local mall. It's You know, it's just crazy. You think about. Mm. Imagine sending a boat to New Zealand, LMFAO. Ooh, we need some sheep or some shit. I can't. Fucking losers. Are you Australian or what? What is the beef here? What? What is the? That feels so targeted. I'm from New Zealand. A self-hating Kiwi? Interesting. Oh, that's a plot twist, bro. That's a plot twist, bro. Isn't Trump on a timer for how long he can command troops without Congress? Yeah, Trump's on a timer. It's called the midterms. Everything else until then is a fake legal threat that has not constrained him in any method. That's his actual timer, bro, is the midterms. Have you seen the new Voidzilla features an old stream fave? No, but Coffeezilla, this is my fucking bad, but so my Twitter, I don't even remember this. Briefly, my Twitter got hacked like a year ago. I think it was like posting crypto scams and shit. My Twitter got hacked. And when it was hacked, he, or she, I guess, or them, whoever hacked me, unfollowed like a ton of people, like, and blocked them. They blocked Lud, they blocked Coffeezilla, they blocked whatever. No, hacked. Yeah, I just blocked Coffeezilla. I just blocked Lud. I was just pissed off at him. Parasocial hacker. So they blocked a lot of people. And so I unblocked Coffeezilla and we've been talking in DMs, but only today he's like, hey, I just realized I don't follow you. And he did follow me before the blocking. And he's like, was it because of the hack? And I was like, I don't know, maybe, but I think he just saw my fucking tweet today about Allbirds AI. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there. It's just a reason he was on my brain because he talked to me today. Let's check Voidzilla. That sounds interesting. The fastest growing product ever.
It's been compared
The fastest growing product ever.
to the iPhone. It's been compared to a Ponzi scheme. Either way, a lot of people are investing and talking about a new product. It's really a stock, specifically preferred stock, called Stretch, and it's sold by MicroStrategy. You may know them. They're the guys who have been buying up a lot of Bitcoin. You may know Michael Saylor from the memes. I
fucking love anything roasting Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy. Micro dick strategy. That's on top of the dome. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay? It is a fucking massive, massive, massive Ponzi scheme. It's so fucking stupid. Although, I will say, we made a video, Max Stupid. Now, the world has definitely gotten stupider since Max Stupid. But the last half of the Max Stupid video is about how stupid MicroStrategy is. And since that video, it's way down. It's way down. So it was Max Stupid in that one particular area.
It's about Bitcoin. He's like, there is no second best but Bitcoin.
There is no second best. There's no second best crypto asset. There's a crypto asset. It's called Bitcoin, right?
Well, now it looks like he's changed his tune.
He's also like, I think he was one of the first guys to do Bitcoin laser eyes. Remember that trend? When all the fucking crypto people had fucking laser eyes on social media? He was the guy that kicked that off. It was truly a horrible...
Because his company is currently raising billions of dollars by offering something called Stretch. The company uses the proceeds from those sales to then go buy more Bitcoin, and they claim that this has been their fastest launch in history. They say it's growing their revenue faster than the iPhone.
So it took us 7 months to go from 0 to $5 billion in cumulative revenue. And if you compare this historically to other products, the most successful products in the world, the Apple iPhone took about a year to get to $5 billion of cumulative revenue. So from a pure product perspective,
You've got a better product than the iPhone.
you could argue that Stretch.
You could argue that pretty soon everyone will be using Stretch, which is just to pay you money to buy Bitcoin at a premium. You could argue that every family in America is going to want to use Stretch to pay you money.
Is the fastest growing product in the history of the world.
Wow. Now, setting aside the fact that Stretch is not really a product, it's a stock, those are still some mind-blowing numbers. So what does Stretch do? I'm gonna try to make it simple. You put in your money, they say they're going to yield about 11.5% a year. Now that is a variable interest rate, but it's basically double-digit returns, which is just mind-blowing.
Always a good sign. If anyone promises you guaranteed double-digit returns, you know you're going into a good investment, a good deal. You're going to get 11% on your money guaranteed? Fuck yeah, bro.
Way more than anything you would get in your normal bank account, and that's got people curious. There's always a question with all of this financial engineering. Anytime you see it, you always wonder, what is the catch? And I like to describe it like a perpetual motion machine. You may have seen, these videos of people, they invent a system that can come up with free energy. And there's always, some weird base plate that's made out of wood or something that they won't let you inspect. And that's because there's always a battery hidden somewhere in the device, because no matter how many times people say they've cheated thermodynamics, actually they've just
But this
cheated
time
you.
is different.
They've hidden the actual system somewhere, and you don't really fully understand that when you're getting in. And that's really how I feel about all too good to be true yields in finance. There's always a battery hiding somewhere, or a risk that you're not really aware you're taking on. Like if you think back to the Terra Luna collapse, there was a stable coin, and
I mean, the battery in this case is that Bitcoin has to keep going up, or he collapses. The only way he can afford to pay back the debt he's taken on to buy Bitcoin is that the prices that keep going up.
Algorithmic stablecoin involved, which is supposedly pegged to $1.
And I mean
until
forever.
it
That's
suddenly
always
wasn't,
keep
and then
going up.
everyone lost their money suddenly in a crash. But before that, it had yielded about 20% returns. People thought it couldn't fail. And so it goes for many of the most famous financial engineering projects throughout time. It's only obvious where the risk was in hindsight for a lot of people. But I'm making this video to tell you it's also obvious in foresight if you know where to look. And you just know that super high yields always carry a lot of risk. The only question is, where does that risk exist in any of these engineering projects? And by the way, I'm not just using that word financial engineering as some sort of, gotcha. Like that's how Michael Saylor describes his own product.
Always a good
Stretch is
sign.
the simplest instrument we've ever created from the point of view of the investor, but it's the most ambitious piece of financial engineering from the point of view of the issuer.
And I think this is at the heart of the mismatch. When most people hear about Stretch, their friends tell them about it. Michael Saylor is talking about it all the time. They're given a very simple view, a very too good to be true view.
It's simple for you. You put money in and it's guaranteed to return. It's complicated on our side. Don't worry about that. It's a very complicated piece of financial engineering on our side. But for you, it's very simple. You will make money guaranteed.
Where Stretch is some money market-like instrument, where it's like a bank, where it's like a savings account, but it's paying you 11.5%. But you dig into the details, and that's not what it is. And the risks are not too different from the risks you have just buying Bitcoin, except the way those risks.
Except they're worse. Just want you to know. Buying MicroStrategy stock in general, let alone Stretch, is just worse. It's just valued higher than the Bitcoin it holds. You're just paying a premium to have him buy Bitcoin for you. It is one of the dumbest ideas ever. That's why I make the video how stupid it was at the beginning, even when it was doing well. Even when it was doing well, I made that Max Stupid video. I was like, this is so obviously stupid, so obviously a Ponzi scheme, because at the very end of the day, even if you believe 100% Bitcoin, you could just buy Bitcoin. You don't have to pay a 3 times premium to this guy to buy it for you.
Manifest in the financial engineering instrument are just very different. Instead of getting a very volatile product, you are tying your risk to Bitcoin, more specifically strategy, and their general ability to pay this yield in perpetuity forever. So this video, I will admit, is going to be a long one, but maybe we should start by just taking a look at some of these honestly insane ads that they've been running about Stretch. Okay, so this is a tweet from the executive chairman of strategy, Michael Saylor. It says, "You weren't meant to live an uncomfortable life." And then this is the video.
Are you on vacation here?
I live here. I'm retired. I just don't think I'm meant to live an uncomfortable life.
Wow. How did you make it?
I worked hard as an engineer to save money. Again. Then I put my savings into Stretch.
What is Stretch?
Stretch is a stock. Right now I get about...
Dude, at some point, though, I mean, we're in 2026 now. If you fall for this shit, bro, you're too dumb to save. You know what I'm saying? I feel like my attitude has changed over the years. Like, I used to be a guy, you go back to my 2024 videos or whatever, I'm like, this is such a crime. My people need to know. It's 2026, bro. If you're seeing an obviously AI video telling you to put your money into Stretch so you can live an easy life, and you're like, damn, I better. I'm losing patience, bro. You're so dumb. You're so dumb to do this. You have to be actually dumb.
11% a year in dividends. Nice.
It's the Stretch, yeah, the Stretch, 11% monthly cash.
Oh my God.
Okay, I'm gonna pause.
They made an AI song?
11% a year in dividends. Nice.
It's the Stretch, yeah, the Stretch, 11% monthly cash dividends.
Okay, I'm gonna pause to let your brain absorb the abomination. That was an AI-generated retired engineer who invested their savings into MicroStrategy's Stretch. Now they're making 11% a year. I mean, do I even need to say it's too good to be true when it's literally a fake ad? Like, this person literally does not exist. But you can see the pitch is pretty simple. They're not explaining the risks. They're just showing you a girl on a beach claiming she's retired. And my point is, this is not a sophisticated pitch, and that's actually by design. Michael Saylor constantly harps about how simple the pitch for Stretch is.
Stretch is the simplest instrument we've ever created. Here's what I realize, right? The world doesn't want you to write 10,000 pages of history to explain what's going on. They don't have time to read. The world just wants the answer. What do I want? I want to put my money in a bank. I want them to pay me 10%. I don't want the government to tax it. Okay, how long was that conversation? That was like 12 seconds?
You do get taxed on this.
Right, so key to strategy is its simplicity.
You don't get to avoid taxes because you put your money in Stretch. Even if they didn't pay out 11%, you do get taxed.
According to Michael Saylor, that's what the world wants. And specifically, he's pitching to retail investors. He's pitching to everyday investors. He says most of the buyers are everyday people.
In fact, 80% of Stretch is held by retail investors. And so it's meant to be a retail product that's really...
Dude, at some point, CNBC, you guys stop putting on an obvious fucking grifter trying to get your audience to buy dog shit. It's crazy. I guess it's right after fucking Jim Cramer. He gets so many news appearances, and it's like at this point, there is no depth to what he's doing. It's
easily accessible by anybody.
80% of this thing that's raising billions of dollars is being held by mom and pops, not institutional investors who understand the risks of preferred stocks, who understand that they can suspend dividends if they want, who understand that ultimately MicroStrategy has no obligation to pay you back the initial money you put in. That's fine. That's one thing. But we instead have this product that's being marketed by their own admission to regular people. They admit it's an ambitious piece of financial engineering, but when they talk about it, they're using words like bank. You know, their CEO is recommending it for low-income investors.
But what about people who are watching who maybe live paycheck to paycheck? They're lower income. Is this a product that would make sense for them?
Yeah, you know, this is another
Evil.
sort of aspect
Evil.
of this product that excites
They're
me.
just
and I know
stealing the money.
having written Bitcoin for everyone, right? Like I'd like to say stretches for everyone. And I know this is important to you, is a product that is for people across all income levels.
But is it really for everyone?
It's
I mean,
for
if you just
no
have a rainy day fund, should you be investing what was in a money market, what was in a bank into Stretch, right? The way they talk about it, really, you'd be forgiven for believing that, yes, it's kind of the same. I mean, her question literally was people living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
And he said, yes, you should invest in their preferred
So
stock
evil.
where the primary
That
risk is
shit
tied
is
to
so
both
evil.
Bitcoin, a known volatile product, and MicroStrategy.
I'd like to say stretches for everyone.
Here's Michael Saylor. Stretch delivers money market-like stability with market-leading risk-adjusted returns. Guys, they are comparing themselves very directly to a money market.
Yeah.
Once again, here's the CEO.
Think about it as how you might get paid on a money market, or how, and I like the monthly payout because it almost looks like a paycheck.
So again, you
Dude,
can
that's
see
so
why
funny.
this is compelling to people, right? They're presenting
That
it
is
like
such
such
a
a simple
scam.
thing. It's just like your savings account, right? But better. But just juiced
You're just
returns.
getting a paycheck.
Now, what is the problem with that? Well, ultimately, Stretch is nothing like a savings account. It is a stock, meaning the company has no obligation to pay you that money back. Like you give them $100, they have no obligation to pay you back. And you actually find this in sort of the longer podcasts where Michael Saylor gets kind of asked about some of the risks of this strategy. And he uses the double speak of how they talk about this stuff to, on the one hand, make it seem like, oh, well, strategy really has no obligation to pay these people, so there's not much risk of a bankruptcy if they can't pay these obligations, while at the same time making it seem like they're definitely going to pay you the money.
When we sell STRC, we're selling equity. When you give me $1 million to buy a preferred equity with a variable dividend, if you read the securities document and you understand what that security is, you're entering into a perpetual swap. I am agreeing as the issuer to give you SOFR, the standard overnight funds rate, plus a credit spread determined by the company. And you are agreeing to give the company that capital forever. And so that, and you're not getting the money back. So
we're not going to give you back the $1 million, but we will give you, maybe in the first few months, this 11% that we promised you, though we have no obligation to do 11%. We can change the percentage to whatever the fuck we want at any time. And also, you're never getting the $1 million back. So we've basically just stolen your money, and we're going to pay you some percent while the times are good, and then close up shop when the times are bad. Genius. A classic Ponzi scheme.
it's not an overnight loan. There is no collateral call. You have no redemption right. Yeah, you can't. It's not like you can go to the bank and say, "Give me the $1 million back tomorrow." In fact, you're not getting the money back ever.
Now that sounds a lot different.
That sounds like a good fucking deal, though, huh? Fuck, do you see the AI girl on the beach? 11%. Don't think about it too hard.
Different than like what people imagine when they hear, you know, bond, loan, money market, bank, right?
Would you like a bank account that pays you 11% that's tax deferred?
Yeah, it's not a bank. That's the key difference between a bank. That's why a bank pays you less. You can go get your money out anytime.
STRC.
When Michael Saylor suddenly says, well, you have no redemption right.
You have no redemption right.
You actually can't get your money back.
In fact, you're not getting the money back ever.
You're giving it to us in perpetuity. Our only obligation is a dividend. A dividend, by the way, which they can suspend to avoid insolvency.
If the company couldn't pay the dividend without being insolvent, it would suspend the dividend for 12 weeks. By law, you can't pay a dividend on a preferred stock that would create an insolvency event for the issuer.
That all of a sudden changes the narrative. But again, that's going to take more time to explain. And Michael Saylor's whole strategy, ironically, is to go with a much simpler pitch.
Yeah, real
which is,
simple.
Hey, it's just like a money market, but better. It's money market light. And this kind of dual use of language, where there he's kind of defending how it's good for the company. Like, hey, we're not going to get liquidated if Bitcoin goes down because we technically owe these people.
I gotta say, I'm really disappointed in the chat right now. I guess some people just want to stay broke. I'm taking my safe 11% and retiring at the resort with that lovely lady. Fucking true. Bunch of fucking brokies, jealous brokies in this chat, honestly. Just talking shit on an innovator like Michael Saylor, trying to make some real fucking gains.
I think we can suspend the dividend.
Bunch of wage slaves.
It is literally impossible to create an insolvency or to bankrupt an issuer of a preferred stock.
But on the other hand, like pitching it like a money market or pitching it like a bank, where in both of those cases, you are reasonable to expect to have your money back. But here, obviously, you don't. Now, why haven't people realized this? Why haven't people realized there could be a risk of this stock going down and them ultimately not getting their $100 back that they put in? Well, this is where we get to some of that financial engineering we were talking about. Part of the way Stretch mimics a bank account, mimics a savings account, is that they're trying to keep it as close to $100 in value at all times. You can see Michael Saylor posted, it's a 1 cent market closed at par, meaning the idea is there's almost no volatility in this stock. You can also see a longer duration here where it mostly hovers around $100. Now, how are they achieving this? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Basically, when it falls below $100, they just raise the dividend, start offering more money until enough people buy it to bring it at $100. And above $100, they issue more shares to make it fall to $100. So you're given this constant impression that this thing is worth $100. So you never fear the idea of this thing falling and losing your principal. Even if strategy won't cash you out, somebody else hopefully will buy your stock at the same amount you bought it for, and you just collect the dividends, right? That's the idea behind it. The problem with it, well, currently, in order to keep it at par, Michael Saylor says they've raised the dividend rate 5 times.
So what are they going to do if it doesn't trade at $100? They're going to raise the dividend rate. Have they done that? Yeah, 5 times.
So ultimately, Stretch will only stay at $100, and you will not risk losing your principal investment as long as there's another guy willing to buy it at $100. Now, again, they have that lever of increasing the dividend more and more and more to try to keep bringing new people in, but that only lasts as long as people see strategy as being well backed enough by Bitcoin. Which brings us back to what this all eventually is. What are your primary risks? Well, it's Bitcoin, which is volatile, and it's strategy itself and their own ability to pay these dividends and not suspend them. Because even though they say they can suspend them, the second they do, you can bet that Stretch is going to fall precipitously.
What's extra funny about strategy is, you know, the company is just a big vault of Bitcoin, essentially. But unlike a big vault of Bitcoin, they also have costs. So, like, it's basically Bitcoin minus 500 million a year in costs because they pay these salaries and they pay for office space and they pay for this other shit. And so the company that's just a wrapper around it loses 500 million a year. It's crazy. It's just a dumb idea on every level.
And a lot of people are going to be running for the door, and a lot of people are going to lose money. Now, I want to be clear that I'm not forecasting doom on the horizon of Stretch. I am not even calling it a Ponzi scheme, although I think there are some comparisons you could make. In fact, I think they disclose.
Is there a legal reason he's not? I think it's a fucking Ponzi scheme. Sue me, Michael Saylor. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme, bro. It is a Ponzi scheme. It is a scam. It does not make sense. They are not creating a real yield. It is funded by the next guy up.
A lot of the risks in the fine print. My entire problem is that they are leading people like a Pied Piper with this kind of ludicrous idea. Their pitch is of a money market and a bank, when that's just not what this is. And this is a snowball of yield that will accumulate for this company, which admittingly does have tons of Bitcoin. They have this massive treasury, but Bitcoin, it's very well known, does not yield anything. So eventually, Stretch will have to be funded by what exactly, right? They have a cash reserve, but that'll eventually run out. Bitcoin doesn't yield anything, so you'd have to sell it at some point, which would put a negative pressure on your entire treasury. Or they can try to keep issuing shares in perpetuity, but how are they going to do that? Well, maybe they just keep raising the yield of Stretch. Doesn't seem like
it's a Ponzi scheme. Okay. That is, it doesn't, they don't make any money, yet they're paying out money. Simple. How do they get that money? The next guy to put money in. It is a Ponzi scheme.
that would work forever. You can pretty quickly realize that, hey, this is maybe not as sustainable as they're claiming it is. That is, of course, unless you believe in what Michael Saylor does. I mean, he says his expected return on Bitcoin is 30% a year.
We think Bitcoin's going up about 30% a year. So can I pay a dividend of 10%, 11%? Yeah, sure I can. That's like 1/3 of my expected ARR.
If you believe what Michael Saylor just said, one, you should just be investing in Bitcoin directly. But yeah, they can pay that dividend in perpetuity, of course. If anything goes up 30% a year, they can pay 11% of that to pay some kind of, money market-like account. But that is not where most people are. It's definitely not where most of retail investors are. They aren't in a position where they can make those kind of bets, right? And had that all been properly disclosed up front, had Michael Saylor actually laid out the entire pitch, that's fine. I actually have no problem with people engaging in financial wizardry as long as they're disclosing what it is. But when you mislead people in the pitch, that's where I have my entire problem. So I think people just need to be aware. If you hear people compare Stretch to a bank, to a money market,
stupid,
to any kind of debt instrument where the person is actually obligated to pay you the amount back, please correct them. That is not what is going on here. And the financial engineering is actually to make it look like it's those things when it is very much, in fact, not. You still have the same risks you have with any stock. You have a concentrated risk to Bitcoin. Your money is not insured. You have no risk.
Okay, I mean, we get it. It is bad. What is Bitcoin at today? Is it up? If so, I'm going all in on Stretch. Because I don't want to buy Bitcoin myself. I don't want all the upside. Bitcoin's at 75K. It was down to like 60, right? Is that up a little bit? No, I mean, basically. Definitely been a bad year for the coin. But it's where it was in 24. All the Trump gains for Bitcoin have been totally wiped out. The great crypto president. Ben McKenzie is doing press for his documentary, Bitcoin's Every Line. Is that out yet, or is it coming out? Like, it feels late. Bitcoin, everyone's lying to you for money. Feels like a great documentary 2 years ago. The world has largely moved on to AI. AI is the new, we're talking about fucking blockchain. It feels so. Wasn't Trump going to implement a Federal Reserve for cryptocurrency? I think Trump, in the early days of administration, was talking about it wasn't a Federal Reserve. It was like a strategic reserve of cryptocurrency where we would take tax dollars to buy Bitcoin. And I remember being so mad about it. And now that would be like the coolest thing Trump's done in a month. I'd be like, you know what? He's trending in a positive direction. It's like, you know what? It's not so bad. Simpler times, bro. Simpler times. But they didn't actually do it. They didn't do it. As I said in my video at the time, it was actually a giant rug pull on crypto people. Trump never met a different group he can't scam, bro. He scammed crypto people. He scammed non-crypto people. He scammed both sides, bro. You got to give him that. He actually didn't do a strategic reserve of crypto. He just made the title of one, but it was only filled with crypto seized by the FBI. He just put that, and it was like this tiny little amount. That's a strategic crypto reserve of America. But they didn't actually buy anything with American dollars. Have you seen the Gen video surrounding YouTube channels that were bought by private equity? I saw the thumbnail on my sidebar, but I haven't watched it. We could check it out. Gen. How private equity turns your favorite channels into slop.
Take a look at the
Let's see.
YouTube channels that you're subscribed to. There's a good chance at least one of them was quietly sold to private equity.
You guys are subscribed to Coco Melon? Wait, Donald Trump and Coco Melon?
Was quietly sold to private equity.
This is so old. This video is 1 day old. This video came out 1 day ago. That's 1.4 million views.
But hold on, how? The creator is still there and the thumbnails look the same, but behind the scenes, the same guys behind Blackstone are now calling the shots for your favorite creator. And unlike an ad read, the creator is under no legal obligation to tell you that the channel quietly changed hands. So really, you actually have no idea whether this channel is bought out too or not. It's not. It turns out it's not slowing down because private equity firms have quietly spent over $4 billion buying YouTube channels. But what's weird is that it's not even really going that
Yeah, I mean, we watched a video about something similar for sure. But unless this guy stole that video, then we could talk about it. I don't care. Could be different. Could be new examples.
great. Early signs are seeing
We definitely didn't watch this video. We did not watch this video because this video is 24 hours old. So please stop telling me that we watched this already because we absolutely have not. I was not live yesterday and I didn't watch this video.
the creators who built the channels walking out, videos starting to slowly suck, and the private equity firm that bought them can't even milk the ad dollars that they were counting on. So then why is private equity continuing to double down? Well, because what they're really paying for is your trust. Trust that doesn't just sell VPNs and mattresses, but trust that can help pick whichever candidate protects private equity's.
Wait, are they trying to say that Joe Rogan was bought by private equity? What are they trying to say? What are these clips just random?
Interest. And not only was 2024 proof of this, it's just the beginning. And so I followed the money across every deal that I could find. And
Joe Rogan has a Spotify deal, but he wasn't sold to private equity. That's not the same thing. That's not.
mapped out exactly how this works and what will happen in the future. And what I found is that it's looking increasingly likely that private equity is about to take it all for themselves. And if something doesn't change, we won't just lose the platform that we all love, but the last bastion of trust at a time when there's nothing much left to trust. So
This is where YouTube's going, bro. This shit is worse than private equity. Wait. This shit's worse than private equity, bro. This is a ChatGPT script. I think. Oh man, I shouldn't say this because I don't know this guy. Maybe this guy's. Let me check the rest of his channel. I think this guy might have fed the other video into ChatGPT and said, "Make me a new script." Let me look at the other fucking videos. I guess I can't tell. Oh, we watched this one. Did we like this? I don't remember. I watched the whole thing. How corporations broke fat acceptance? Interesting. All right. Atrioc, do you want to get a dual queue room for watch NL's cruise? We could watch Coco Melon. I don't care they're bought by private equity. You have the same reaction today as you did last year? What's this? Atrioc should react to this, not just because he's featured in it. But my understanding is this video is about private equity buying YouTube channels. So just to be clear, I have been bought by Bain Capital. This... That's way better than I reacted this year. That's a funnier joke. Why are you saying it's the same? This is way different. That's a great line. That's an incredible line. What are we talking about? By Micron, Econ, YouTube.
If you spend long enough on YouTube, there's now a very good chance that a substantial share of your watch time is going to channels partially or fully owned by private equity.
But this seems original. I don't remember this video being bad. I thought this video was pretty good. Micro. What are they doing now? How Europe became uninvestable? How Aldi went... Dude, there's so many channels like this. Not I like this channel. But I do think AI is creating... I talked about this on Lemonade Stand. There's just so many channels just like this now. How Aldi, the Panama Canal is dying, kinda. This was a great video. The Costco. I thought we watched this video, unless this is ripped. I thought this video was good. The problem with building Trump's golden fleet. Are they ripping the How Money Works thumbnail? Isn't this like the exact format that he... Am I crazy? Am I fucking blanking now? How Money Works. Yeah, I mean, they all... Yeah. Yeah, everyone's been ripping this then. I see a million thumbnails just like this now. Interesting. Interesting. But, you know, you can't copyright thumbnails. Everyone's inspired by thumbnails. We need more classic Atrioc thumbnails with your face against your head. Oh, you mean this? All right, let me show you how the goat does it. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, holy shit, dude. That's how you know. That's how you know. That is how you know it's about to be a fucking best tweets video. That is how you know, dude. You see one of these, you know there's going to be some tweet reacts. What is that pose supposed to say? I'm so glad you asked. It's actually deep thumbnail knowledge. See, the fist on head while laughing thumbnail conveys two things. It conveys that me, the streamer, and you, the viewer, are going to be sort of above the content. You get to look down on something. Something stupid's going to happen. Something crazy you can't even believe. But the laugh indicates that it's also going to be funny. So you're not going to waste your time by clicking it because it's going to make you laugh. So fist on head while laughing gets everything across that you need to in the thumbnail to make it worth your time to click. It's actually kind of brilliant. Okay? Coney ran that shit for a month. Coney didn't just copy the pose. He stole my hand out of the thumbnail and pasted it over his own face. It was my fist. And the views went up. Is that actually true? It's actually true. Yes, it is. Did you watch the baseball doesn't exist video on steroids? Bro, can I watch it on steroids? I've never been off steroids. Every video I watch is on steroids, bro. But this particular video I can't watch because it's 2 fucking hours. Why do you guys edit them as they're publishing so much? This is wrong. People say this and they're so stupid. When you upload the video, you put in 4 different thumbnails every time as an A/B test. And then YouTube shows them different people. And so when you refresh your page, you're going to see a different thumbnail. You're going to see one of the 4 or one of the 3. Okay? But then everyone goes in the comments and they goes, "Oh my God, why thumbnail change?" It's like the thumbnail didn't change. It's just, it's the same A/B test. It's just going to take, 48 hours to find the best one, and then that'll be the permanent. It's okay not to know that. It's fine not to know that, but it's crazy to think that every YouTuber is constantly changing their thumbnail right as you hit refresh at all times. That's just stupid. There should be one other new. But A/B testing is so smart because it works. You upload 3 thumbnails when you fucking publish the video, and you're gonna find that one thumbnail does way better. Way better. Same for titles? Yeah, same for titles. You never seen it? I'll show you how it works. Let me see if I got an example. Like, is there an A/B test example? Like, I'm trying to find an example for you. Here, I'll go to Big A. There's got to be one on Big A. Like, yeah, here we go. This is a recent tweet. View test report. Okay? Look, we had 2 examples. We had everyone is jumping ship with Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and Candace Owens. And then we had this is a meltdown. All right? And you upload them at the same time. And this one did way better. Way better. So you might see both if you hit refresh, but I'm not changing them. We just picked, That's not way better. It is way better. This is a massive gap. 45 to 54 that's like 100, 200,000 view difference. That'll be over the course of a lifetime of a video, massive. And it also snowballs. You need a high click-through video. It's just fucking way better. Would literally never click the bottom one? Well, I don't give a fuck. Because I used this one and the video did incredible. So I don't okay, tell me all you want, bro. But I think I know. Curious if the title shows up in search results under the... No, it only shows the A. Whatever the A title is what you get under search results until the contest is done. And then it permanently changes to the best performing one. I think I watched the same video twice with a different thumbnail because my attention span is cooked. And there's the side bonus of somebody refreshing, getting a different title thumb, clicking it, watching the same thing twice. How beast is that? It's a win-win. How many tests can you just do? No, you can do 3. But I think like Mr. Beast account and some of the bigger channels can do like 40. I don't have it unlocked because I'm just a Chungus sub-million fucking channel. But yeah, I think they can have like a million. Like Mr. Beast has like 19 layers of thumbnails that are all flipping through at all times until they find the best one. Would you ever consider having me as a guest on Lemonade Stand? I don't work in any interesting fields or have any deep knowledge about anything, nor do I have anything interesting to say. I would just like to sit in the room and watch you guys do your thing. Hey, that's what Aiden does. He's a co-host, bro. You can come on anytime. Definitely. That's what Xi Jinping did, and he's the leader of China. Okay? Literally. Generational Gondomar performance today, by the way. This stream's only been 2 hours long, and Gondomar has been whooshed like 8 times, and they've all been bangers. You got to call out good chatting when you see it. You gotta call it out, dude. When you're on a run, I didn't think you had it in you. This is like a real Bam Adebayo 83-point night, dude. You're performing well above. People did not expect when you were drafted that you'd be pulling this shit out. It's just a hot hand. His chat's above replacement is crazy. Atrioc, I'm the blackjack dealer from that one job interview stream. Oh, we gotta do another one of those. Wait, job interview stream soon. I do have kind of like a Tony Montana vibe with this shirt in this lighting now, actually, that I see it. Like I'm dealing coke or something. We got to do a job interview stream. And we got to do it soon. Within a week, we have to do it. I got to figure out the exact day. Maybe Wednesday next week would be perfect, honestly. Maybe Wednesday next week would be a perfect time to do it. Job interview stream will be really fun. And we should do it and talk to more people. But I'm sorry, you were saying you have a new job after the blackjack job, and you're a security guard at a hospital and you hate it so much. Healthcare, the one growth industry left in America. You hate it so much. Is it because it's boring or because you're in danger or what? Like, do you actually have to do much? Security guard at people. You're the guy that didn't stop the Luigi? Is there stats for most whooshed shatters? Are you serious with that question? You think I track? You think I'm whooshing someone and then making sure to write their name down and fucking put a... Are you kidding? No, there's not a stat for most whoosh shatters, bro. By the way, if there were, it would only ruin the chat more. People's attempts to get whooshed would... They do it for the love of the game now. If you put stats to it, oh dear God, it would destroy the whole economy. I got job as a lab manager, and I think the head scientist is among the worst bosses I've ever had. The ego is so unearned, and there's no way he's getting tenure with the attitude he has. I am not confident that a bad attitude is a disqualification for getting tenure based on some teachers I've met. I'm not sure, but I do think he probably is an asshole. You're probably right. Just like I think tenured professors and assholes, they go together like chocolate and peanut butter, bro. They're are you still planning on watching the new season of The Boys? I am, but it's kind of tough. Yeah, I am. I really do want to watch it. Unfortunately, I've been sort of constrained on time. But I am excited for it. I do want to watch it really bad. In fact, maybe I'll just what's tomorrow, Thursday? Let's maybe do a doubler. I just have to, tomorrow I have to do the France presentation, bro. I just keep putting it off. And I also want to talk about Ukraine, but I'm probably not going to do it tonight. So maybe tomorrow we just do one of those presentations and we do a doubler. Just do it now? Can't do it now. Can't do it now. Need to be done by 10, honestly. You skipping on Friday for Mexico? I'm skipping on Saturday for Mexico. I have to go to Mexico on Saturday. I think I think I'm streaming Friday. I'm gone Saturday. And I'm back Sunday. And I'll probably stream Sunday. So I don't think I'm losing any days because of Mexico. He's smuggling a Xiaomi car through Mexico. Dude, I've been wanting to talk about that. All the CEOs, all the Japanese CEOs plus Ford again, just fucking cowering, just talking like they've seen the end times about Chinese cars. It's crazy. The Honda CEO, the Toyota CEO, and then the Ford CEO again being like, we just can't let these things out. It'll destroy the economy. If we let... they're spooked, bro. Oh, I like that. I like the Genema. Yeah, they talk about Chinese EVs like Dario Amidai talks about Mythos. Yeah, Mythos. Yeah, 100%. 100%. They talk about it like the end times. They talk about it like the idea that they'd have to compete with the Chinese EV is a death knell for all companies. It's crazy. It is crazy, bro. You have any updates on Luca? No updates. He's back in the States. He got injected in Europe with an experimental drug. And he's going to try to play once they check him. But he's not going to be there for first round. Luca on peptides would go crazy. That's what I'm saying. Give him steroids. Give him whatever, dude. Whatever it takes. Stem cells, peptides, and a pep talk. Yeah, fuck peptides. Just let me give him a pep talk. I promise you, you let me inspire Luca, he will play. The injury will not, he will not feel the pain. Okay? I'm going to walk in. I'm going to hand him a brand new fresh burger. I'm going to say, eat up, champ. Okay? America needs you. How the fuck are people smuggling an entire giant ass car? Smuggling, people aren't really smuggling Chinese electric vehicles into America. Not easy to smuggle and you'll get taxed. But if you were to do it, you would just buy it in Mexico or Canada and drive it. but obviously they are checking for that. But it's more like if you're driving it around, you ever get pulled over for anything, and they run your license and registration, shit's gonna get back to you. It's considered smuggling. It's really you can get massive fines. Can't you just pay the tariff? I think so, but actually I'm not sure. For some of the EVs, possibly you can, but for some it's like a de facto ban. Like you can't even pay the tariff and get it. It's not up to code or something. Yeah, it's something about there's something. There's some license that hasn't gotten or passed. So you just can't buy them. Something at the Ford CEO on the pod. I would love to talk to a car company CEO about the fucking wave of Chinese competition. That would be awesome. But all I want is the SU7, and so I'm really not going to buy anything until that happens. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen. What are your thoughts on people thinking you can abolish the payroll and income tax altogether if you increase sales tax by 10 to 12%? I think those people are either A, downright stupid, or B, downright evil. So, first of all, moving the tax burden from payroll and income to sales basically places it all on poor people. Basically places the entire tax burden on people buying regular goods, which isn't poor people. It's extremely regressive. But secondly, it wouldn't even come close to covering the shortfall. Like, I mean, that's not nearly enough. However, many states are trying to do this, especially with regards to property taxes. Many states are trying to get rid of property taxes, which is one of the few taxes that hits wealthier boomers, and replace it with sales taxes, which hits working poor. It's horrible. It's really, really, really stupid. It's very bad. It's backwards, and it's just another sign of our tax code being favored to the wealthy and the old. Really, the old. Not even the particularly wealthy, like people that have one house or whatever, just the old. It's the boomers. Like the boomers have truly dominated our tax code. Even like the recent thing they're talking about, no tax on Social Security and shit. It's like all this shit is just taking money. We're not cutting spending in any way. So like we're affording things by taxing working poor more or working middle class more, but not the wealthy and old. Yet property tax exemptions for senior citizens. It's like you can't get more directly blatant that it's a giant fuck you to the young. It's just a giant fuck. It's just the boomers who vote most. That's why you have to fucking vote, bro. Even in local elections, it's all controlled by the boomers who care enough to vote. And they have voted every level to be better for them. And it's like they don't have the they're not more people. They just vote more. They don't have jobs. Yeah, I mean, there's like a structural part of it where I think we should have if we had a mandatory vote, I think it'd be good. But even like, voting being a holiday, strongly encouraged, you being able to vote easier day before or at whatever, like, that shit would be better. Because right now there's a strong incentive that makes it easier for people who are established and own homes and have flexibility to vote. And people who have to work, it's harder. Voting week, I don't know, whatever. But I think it should be mandatory, honestly. Or like you should get you should get a bonus or a penalty if you don't. I don't know, there should be something. Usually bonuses are better than penalties, but whatever. There should be a voting holiday paid for by the company. No, I hate that shit. I hate health insurance being tied to companies, and the company should just only focus on doing what the company does. And we shouldn't tie healthcare and voting incentives and anything else into your company, because that makes it so only big companies have an advantage because they can offer these benefits, and that small company, it's just stupid. It's fucking dumb. And we should completely separate the two. We should just tax the company if we have to, but the government should handle government shit, and companies should have company shit. And they should never, the twain should meet. Thoughts on the 400K Godfather? No, I don't care about that. They should let companies vote on their employees' behalf. Now we're talking. Wait a minute. What if PepsiCo gets, they have 30,000 employees, they get 30,000 votes, and you as an employee don't really get to vote, but you've given your vote over to your employer. That's kind of a good idea, because obviously they're going to know what's best. That's actually not a bad idea at all. And it would save a lot of time, because the company definitely will vote. We get a lot more participation, because the company definitely will vote. I should be able to sell my vote to the highest bidder. I mean, technically, you can right now. You can do that right now, theoretically. Nothing's stopping you. Isn't that illegal? I mean, was Elon Musk taking $100 million and doing like $1 million daily registration signups for voting illegal? Maybe in the letter of the law, but they got away with it. You could sell, I mean, you could just say, you could throw up a poll or an auction to determine which book you're going to read. And it's like a book of Democrat policies and a book of Republican policies. And it's like, whatever wins this auction, I'm going to really learn more about their policies. And you're not really selling your vote, but it's like obvious what you're doing. You could do that. Can I steal other people's votes? It would be interesting if you carried around a vote card and anyone that steals it from you can steal your vote. So you could walk around pickpocketing all the votes. It's like flag football. It's just stamp cards. So after you vote 10 times, you get a free ice cream cone. That's not a bad idea either. That's not a bad idea either. You have to find votes like Pokemon Hunt. 1 extra vote per 10 votes. Yeah, let's give more voting power to the boomers. People who have already voted a lot, your votes now count double. You get, that's a good idea. I like, that'll do it. Exclusive Pokemon card if you vote. I think they just really need to focus on making the I voted sticker like really cool. If they could really lean into that, then everyone will do it because they don't want to be left out. They need to make the I voted sticker a fucking, it's like fucking sick. Or they give you like a cool hat or something, or like a cape. Like a Labubu collab. Yeah, you get like a custom I voted Labubu, and that way you don't want to seem uncool, so you have to vote. I got a hollow foil. Dude! What if you have a small chance of getting a holographic I voted sticker that's worth a lot of money? Voting blind boxes. Yeah, wait a minute. Why does the government... Oh, sorry. Everything is gotcha. In Australia, we have sausage sizzles at every voting place. Dude, that's actually just a great idea. Wait a minute. You actually solved it, and it made it so much simple. There should just be food. If you vote, they give you fucking food. They give you a hot dog or something. That's just a much better idea. People would be excited. People go to... That's the number one way to get people to go to things is put food there. Yeah, wait, glizzies are the solution. A pizza party or glizzies or whatever. That's not a bad idea at all. You vote, you get a hot dog. You vote, you get a slice of pizza. Wait, a glizocracy. Sponsored by Costco? Sure. I don't think corporations should sponsor elections, but we're on the same page. Hey, big dog, I love the AoE 2 video. Got me wanting to tune into future tournaments if you do a co-stream. Got a question if you have any experience on this. I have recently rejoined a team I left after a reorg, and it feels like all the processes that I had worked on and ways of working have gone down the drain. And now it feels like I'm fighting the same battles which you've done previously, which is quite draining. Any advice? I mean, I've been through reorgs at Twitch, and they generally suck. Yours sounds particularly annoying. I don't know. Hard for me to say. I mean, it really depends on the people you're working with and their attitudes. I don't know, man. I guess you could quiet quit unless you feel like you have to grind. You could just sort of do what your task is, your job is, and not get invested in constantly fighting battles. But I can't give you any deeper advice on that because I don't know too much about your situations. Thoughts on Zoran's new tax on the wealthy? Yeah, it's cool. It's not I think you said 500 mil. I think I saw the video. That's not a lot in New York, but it is cool. It's a good step. I think they should be, especially because it's taxing people that aren't even residents. I think it's good. It's good that he's doing it. I like that he is making marketing material about it to get people on board. But it's, it is not enough, to be honest. It's like the easiest thing to get everyone on board with, which is like, we're going to tax only wealthy landowners who don't live here. So yeah, you're just going to raise a lot, but what you need to do is bigger taxes on the wealthy that do live there. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, that's my favorite part of his mayorship so far. My favorite part of his mayorship is that he's taking the budget seriously. Because no voter does, and you could very easily ignore it and borrow. People say cities can't borrow. They can. New York does. New York is in debt. They have borrowed. They are deeply in debt. They're almost indebted cities, and they could have done that. He could have kept going with that. And he's trying to balance the budget. And I appreciate that. I think that is the most noble thing a politician can do, is try to be not kick the can to the next fucking person. Talk about Live Nation Ticketmaster ruling. I shouted out Lena Khan on social media today. It's awesome. It's really cool. It's something her administration started, and then they dropped it when they got the new FTC chair. I'm sorry. And then the states picked it back up. And the states have continued it, and now they are ruling against Live Nation. I don't know what it'll mean yet. But they have a massive monopoly, and they use it to fucking overcharge people and throw in a bunch of fees and all that crap. It would be a great thing to break up. Live Nation fucking sucks. Will my wife not put me in debt for Taylor Swift tickets now? I don't know about that. I mean, the thing about Taylor Swift is that she has a monopoly on Taylor Swift performances. And there's only so many of them, and the demand is sky high. And so, you just can't get those prices down. It's not like you could, I don't know, even if she were to sell them at a loss, people would scalp them. It's almost impossible not to. You'd have to clone Taylor Swift to have multiple performances. But it's just such a scarce good. But the thing about Live Nation is that they own all of the venues. They own the venues and they own the ticketing. And so they have this monopoly that allows them to overcharge everywhere, and people can't go elsewhere. They can't, like a concert can't choose a different venue or do that. It's like they've created a vertically integrated monopoly that it's giving them this fat tax that wouldn't normally exist if it was competitive. Only in the U.S.? No, Live Nation owns venues outside of the U.S. They don't have as much of a monopoly outside of the U.S., but they're like a massive problem. Strict antitrust enforcement would go crazy in America. Yeah, it's my number one thing I would want is strict antitrust enforcement. Really, really, really focusing on making things as competitive as possible. Making sure that customers in almost every field they're buying things in have multiple options competing for their dollar. Be fucking awesome. Be awesome. It's one of the greatest wins. Best we can do is no tax on tips. Really? You're number one above coffee? Okay, bro. Can you debunk Steelman some of the issues with taxing the wealthy like capital flight to other places? No, it's a fair concern in the United States. I mean, there is evidence people are moving their residents, at least, to different states. And then even if they stay in a place that's high tax, their residence is somewhere else. I think the evidence I've seen is that it's not so effective on country level, except for the ultra mega wealthy. The ultra mega wealthy can flee countries to avoid tax, but on an individual level, people can much more easily flee states. And so I don't know. I don't like that the states of America are in a race to the bottom on taxes. I don't like it. I think like state taxes should be more standardized or something. The idea that like there's some states that are so controlled by wealthy boomers that they are cutting all their property taxes, state taxes, and everything, running on debt and just like letting that shit ride is like Florida. Florida is a horribly managed economy that is just cooking itself for the benefit of its current boomers. So like a national tax, we have a national income tax. What I'm saying is the states are funded by state taxes, but each state has different taxes, which leads to be a competition for people to move between states to try and get the best taxes. And it's like, if it was like a flat 10% tax for the state in every state, that would be a lot better, or whatever it is. I just think having these vastly different tax systems across state lines is causing a lot of weird shit. um, what's the implications of a state defaulting? Yeah, the implications of local governments and states taking on debt they can't pay is vastly degraded public services in the future. It's like, it is fewer employees at all fucking state services. It's fucking worse healthcare. It's worse roads. It's worse schools. It's it's the people of the state getting worse public services. Ugh. And also, they just can't borrow anymore, which they need to do to keep funding. So, so people will be forced to get on their grind set. Sign me up. True, fucking true. People in Florida, if there's any young people left, you're gonna have to grind like crazy. Is Japan strat? They gave everyone in their one fixed market should be down. Why is it up? Is it because market makers are rigging the markets everyone else puts? No, I don't think market makers are rigging the market. I think there's a lot of euphoria for AI, and it is carrying the market up. Count Chocolate with the Prime. Will you ever do another TikTok financial advice reaction video? Definitely. Guys, I think I'm going to end for tonight. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow. I have a presentation on France gold and maybe Ukraine. Bye. I'm going to go eat. I'm hungry. And then tomorrow we're going to try and do The Boys. If you want to watch The Boys with chat, it'll be fun. If you've already seen it, then enjoy our reactions and come with us. Bye. Thanks for watching. Ooh, food. Thanks, babe. All right, bye.